I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good are you? I was like, did I do something good?
Okay, did everybody have a chance to review the agenda?
Did I move to approve the agenda?
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Did everybody have a chance to review the minutes from the last meeting?
I move to approve the minutes of the February 17 meeting.
I second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from the February 17th meeting. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Did everybody have a chance to review the vouchers?
Yeah, I had to move to approve the vouchers.
I second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the vouchers. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Hawaii couldn't handle it. It was big enough. Cool, so I'll get in touch with you. I'll shoot you an email. And yeah, we'll see. Yeah, that's great. Awesome. Yeah. Good to see you. I'm good. Yes. He just said thank you, Deputy. Oh. All right. I don't think I passed the requirement. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I just.
Yeah.
Gregor? Gentlemen. Morning.
How much rain did you get at your house?
A little bit.
Oh. Before they're getting awarded? Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay, Banner Capital has requested to be a depositor of public funds.
Yeah, so last year you approved 3 First State Platte Valley and Banner Capital, and then same 3 applied. You approved First State and Platte Valley at the last meeting, And then, should banner capital for this meeting. So banner capital, really, the way it's used is, folks in Guernsey who wanna pay property taxes, well, or really any county bill, could just pay it straight through banner capital at the bank branch in Guernsey.
I would move to approve Banner Capital Bank as a depository of public funds.
Seconded. Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve Banner Capital as a depository of public funds. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, we'll move on to Road and Bridge.
All right, good morning, gentlemen. So I don't forget them, I'll just get these out of the way real quick. There's 2 encroachments there, they're from the REA.
We also have this one.
The REA is doing, they're just moving some lines, and basically I met with Platte and they're basically adjusting existing infrastructure, so.
Those are over on Fairview.
There's Fairview, Washington is another one that they're doing. So they're gonna go underground with a couple different things versus, overhead, so they're just trying to clean up a few spots. Clay put it in all the electrical, terminology, and it's like, sounds great. Yeah. But it's all the existing stuff. We went out and looked at everything, so since it's just, since it was existing, that they're just kind of adjusting a little bit, we just have it documented and so then we know in the future. So I figured I would get those done since I already forgot them at the office once this morning in the end. Had to save the day and get them. Figure I'll do those before I forget completely.
And as one of those requires an easement.
So Doug is working with
You
REA.
guys, right?
Yes, yes.
These other, but the Fairview guys.
Yes, because that's technically, or not technically, because that's county property.
So Doug's working with REA. There's a little bit of language in there that we didn't hear for, so
Yeah, that's the one we referred back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so for regular stuff, the last 30 days, we actually got to go out and plow some snow. We had one day. Everybody got to take everything out and go use all the trucks. Good thing was everything functioned very well, so that was exciting. We did a little work on South Gap, and I think, kind of looking at some of it, we're going to do a little more assessing. So we went out and the first little bit of South Gap going up to where that missile silo is. That stretch of road is really, it's real sandy, the material's not that good there. So we're still kind of hunting for that 1 mile to test out that chemical that we bought. And I think that's gonna be a good candidate, cause South Gap, I couldn't give you an exact, number of traffic vehicles that it sees every day, but that spot, like, we went out, Nick and Kenny ripped the tar out of that road, and then we watered it, repacked it, and it was awesome, but it just doesn't hold. And it washboards bad, and they were just out there not that long ago, and they're staged to start on that tomorrow. So I think that first mile may be a good test subject. The actual problematic area is about 2.5 miles, but I think it'll give us a good, it's all the same material going through there, so I think it'll give us a good indicator of what that chemical is capable of doing and how it helps hold and preserve the road. So I think that's gonna be our candidate, is we'll try that first mile stretch there and see what it does. But we did go out there and we did put some water out on the roads. We borrowed the fairgrounds water truck that we gave them back and used it, and then our water trailer, and it was good. East Laramie River, we did a cattle guard clean out there. Eventually we'll have to replace those, but for now, talking with the property owner out there, he was good with just cleaning those out. But there's 2 of them going down into Eula that need to get kind of replaced, but had a good conversation with the property owner, and all of our cattle guards are 12 foot. We may look at making those a little wider in the future to just give a little more clearance going through down the roads with some of those cattle pots and things. So I think that may, at the end of the day, I feel like the additional material that we put in to make those 2 feet wider is, the cost for that's gonna be offset by not having to replace as many A's. Hopefully. In theory, it breathes well, so but that's a possibility, is something that we're gonna kind of look at, and that was the discussion we had down there with Riker, was that, he was like, you can put in a new 12-footer, but that gets a little skinny.
Yeah.
So it was kind of, but it was a good conversation, so we may look at making some adjustments on those things.
I don't think it's the cattle trucks and things.
No,
Make them wide enough to pass a 14-foot blade on it.
that could be sometimes too.
Actually, I think it's just people going so fast they get right over toward the edge.
Yeah. Somehow, magically, tires on a cattle guard do not seem to get destroyed, but A's and E's will just get schwacked all day long. I don't know how they, I don't know if tires have something that pushes, counter magnets the rubber on their tire. I have no idea, but it's interesting. So we'll look at, I know some of them, it does get a little thin, and it's skinny for a blade too, so we might look at trying to widen some of our cattle guards in the future.
So are your footers, are you able to, without replacing the footers, for the wider cattle guard?
I think so. We've kind of been looking at them. So our footers are 12 foot wide. So it would just leave a foot overhang on each side. However, when we put in the new footers, we run ties down the sides of those. So I think that would be able to brace and support that extra foot on the side. And we'd be okay without having to completely scrap everything we have. So I think we could still utilize those.
So would you just build it like a 2-foot piece to put in, or would you have to get all new cattle guards?
I think we can add on another section to that, so we'll have to look at it as well. We only have, right now, I think we have 6 12-foot cattle guards remaining, so as time goes, we can replace those and then look at expanding. Because fortunately, we build them all, so it's cheaper for us to order the material and then build them, so we just have to create a new jig, which would be the worst thing in the world, and then we just start trying to stretch them out a little bit. But it is something we're gonna look at, widening some of those and making them 14s. So, we did get a little tree trimming done. It's weird, some of the things that we did this month, in the middle of February was strange, but yeah, we did some tree trimming. We picked up a few down trees from some of the windstorms. We built up a little area on the southern portion of Sebille Creek when you start heading down towards, what they call it, Sand Creek Ranch now. We used to be the old Dodge Ranch. Coming down that hill on the east side, that bank just washes out real bad down that shoulder. So we kind of built that up, pulled some of the material back up, put in some water breaks, and we'll see how that kind of helps with that area. iWork training is ongoing. We have, I think, 3 or 4 weeks left of iWork training, and then we'll be in full swing with that program. Did some culvert end replacements out on Reservoir in Washington, and then, yeah, we burned the county pit. Burned the burn pits in the county pit, I should say. That sounds a little bit better. But it was nice to have a little bit of snow. Emergency management and fire warden gave us a green light the other day, and we got it kind of burned down and cleaned up, so that was nice. Next 30 days, we got more iWork training. We're gonna try really hard to get these 2 culverts out there on Brookside replaced. That'll be a couple-day project. They're irrigation transfer culverts that it's just time. So we'll work on Brookside, may see a little bit of attention there. And then, depending on what the weather does, we actually might fill the Durapatcher. We won't fill the whole oil truck, but we might take the Durapatcher out and get it filled with oil and do a little Durapatching. So there's a couple spots we didn't get last summer that we wanted to. West Fairview is one of them, and there's a couple of spots that have blown out that if it stays warm enough in March, we'll be able to do it.
Or where the ground didn't freeze, is there a baseline temp that it has to be before you can do that?
No, we try not to do it under 50 degrees,
Okay.
just so it has a chance to kind of
You're
cure
talking ambient air, you're talking.
ground and ambient. But we've done it, like, even out on Drake, we did it when Drake had a big problem there.
Still bonds.
Yeah, it's still on, we were doing it in, it was probably 35, 40 degrees out with a little breeze. It didn't hold up as great, but it still held up pretty well, so. And then, yeah, just, there's a lot of culvert ends down in Chugwater that kinda could use some cleanup and stuff too, so. Try and take advantage of some of that and get those done, so that's next 30 days, and then we'll see, we may have some snow Friday, maybe, is what the weather's saying, so we might be out a little bit on Friday too, coming up, but otherwise, it'd be nice if it just keeps raining like this, that'd be awesome. So I had a couple things for discussion, so we would like to, we have 2,700 sitting in our new equipment line, remaining, and then I would like to take the remainder from our material budget, which right now we're at 54% for the year. And downtown, they have, there's George Price, I think his name is, has a couple mini X's down there, and they're $5,700. We went and looked at one, and it would be a valuable tool for us, especially on culvert ends and some of those littler projects where we don't have to take a dump truck, the backhoe, and all that. It's almost overkill for some of the smaller projects that we need to do. So I think it would be quite helpful, and for the county, the benefit also would be, I think Jim at the fairgrounds, they had to rent one for a day, and the rental on that's like $500 a day. He said he typically has to replace 2 to 4 spigots out there at the fairgrounds every year. So I think it would be a valuable tool. I know it would be a valuable tool for us, and talking with Jim over the maintenance, he said they'd be able to use it quite a bit too. And we've looked at them, and Mark Bowen's actually done a lot of research on those things, and just looking at them, that is the most simple of simple machines that you can get. It's a 16 power Briggs and Stratton gas motor, which you can get parts for that everywhere. Everything's cable over hydraulic, so there's no computers on those things. So anything that can go wrong is just, it's,
Mechanical.
yes, and just simplistic, easy fixes.
You step up one, then you get into pilot oil and valves and.
And all the crazy stuff,
Uh-huh.
yeah. So, but I do think it would be a very valuable tool
What
for
make
us.
are they?
I'm sorry, sir?
What make are they?
Cannot remember the brand off the top of my head, and I meant to actually write that down. It's an off-market brand,
Yeah.
so it's, yeah, I cannot remember off the top of my head. But like I said, we looked at them, and they have, so for $150 you can, it has a thumb on it, for $150 you can buy the cylinder and the attachment to make the thumb be a usable thumb, and then for like, you know, we could look at next year for the budget for $1,500, you can buy every implement that they make for that thing.
What other kinds of things do they put on?
So there's a rake bucket that I think that one was like 30 inches. There's there's just a single spike that you can put on there for an attachment, which we would actually use that to kind of help dig up some of the bad road spots and then be able to come and fix those.
How big is it? Oh, you said this is for the mini?
Yes, sir.
You got 19 horsepower?
16.
16, okay.
But that spike will still, it'll kind of trace out, you can dig out some of those potholes or problematic areas, and we can work on those a little bit. It has, on it right now, I think it's a 16-inch bucket. They have an 80-inch bucket, I think is what it was, or 60-inch bucket. He's got a larger one that he's gonna throw in on it, but there's just, like a rock rake, so going down the shoulder on some of our roads, we'd be able to scoop up some of those bigger rocks on the side a little easier, and things like that. And the benefit to it also is, like I said, we'll go out to do some of those projects. We already have a trailer that was for the old skid steer that's now at the fairgrounds. That trailer is too small for our current skid steer. It would fit that, no problem, so we wouldn't need to get another trailer or anything to move it, which is nice.
You probably save a lot on shovel handles.
Yes, yes, because actually I need a new shovel. My handle, the handle in the back of my truck has, duct tape on the top of it, because I broke it the other day. And, yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I do think that it's it seems like a pretty good deal, and it'd be pretty functional.
I think you should look at getting something that can lift up a cattle guard.
That would be very nice. Unfortunately, there's one of those for sale here in town too.
Yeah.
That's over by Western, I think it is. The price figure is significantly higher.
Yeah.
But if it is, my thought was if it is a tool that we used a lot and then it got to the point where it would be nice to have that for cattle guards, we could look at upgrading in the future and stuff. And for the rental fee of one of those for a day, and I think the amount of use we could get out of it, it offsets the cost pretty fast.
I just have concerns about 16 horse and what that'll actually run. You know, because all it does is run hydraulics,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
I honestly, I think a 30 horsepower mini is probably, it's too small. I mean, really. We've got one and you go, it's amazing how much they can't do that you want to until you get up into that like 30, 40 horsepower range, honestly. It's like the difference between one of those kid sand trap excavators and something you actually do something with. When we were looking at them, first question I asked is which one is broke the least? Or, you know, if you have tough guys working on it or something like that. Bobcat seems to be a really good, like, you can train people on it, which is tough. But I would look at something like they can pick up at least 2,500 pounds.
Okay.
You know, you'd be amazed at how much, and they still fit on the same skid steer trailers. They're not
Sure.
very heavy, and you go from being able to do that to that, and they use market on them. You can find a lot of them for less than 1,000 hours that are pretty good.
Okay.
But it comes down to everything else. It costs like however much an hour to run them, no matter what they are. And so if you can do more with them, then
True. I guess part of my thought with this one was, I guess partially try before you buy, since it is significantly
they're useful.
cheaper. Yeah,
I'll tell you right now, the guys will be waiting to go get lunch until the mini's done, so they can pick up their lunch box.
right.
I mean, that's how it'll go.
Yeah.
So they're very useful. It's just, you know.
But yeah, I agree that maybe look into something a little better size,
Okay.
just to compare to start with, and then
I'd just be concerned if he says, man, it won't do this and it won't do that, but it
Yes.
will do this. But, you know, if you're gonna develop, you know, step into that, it's like, you know, I'm like these guys, I'm like, well, why would you fall short of what you could do when it really doesn't change what trailer you gotta have and it costs what it costs to run it,
Yeah.
you know, that kind of thing. Your cost per hour isn't gonna change.
It'll still
You've got a
change a little.
greater expandability of what that machine will do.
Okay.
There's no substitute for horsepower, I'll put it that way.
Agreed.
You know,
All right. We did, I did have a meeting with some iWork people, and I figure I would at least ask. They, so iWork will send out, an engineer team to come out and do a full-on assessment of all of our asphalt and oil roads. Basically what they'll do is they'll video it, they'll film it, then they'll give an engineer assessment on it. They input that into the iWork program, and then it puts all of our roads on a life cycle and a plan. It does, it gives you, recommendations for repair, upkeep, how to expand that life, and all those things. And so it's a very, very, very awesome thing, but the, price tag on that was a little heavy. But on the flip side, you are having engineers come out and evaluate and assess all of our asphalt roads, looking at, and what they'll do is they'll take what our budget is every year, and then it formulates they formulate a, maintenance and repair plan for all of your oil roads based within the parameters of your budget. So there is some niceties to it for sure, but it is a, heavy price tag.
I think we did something like that in the past, didn't we? Wasn't there a program through the County Commissioners Association? where we
Yes, there was.
Surveyed all the paved roads in the county, and they came back with a survey, and, of course, it didn't link up with iWorks, of course, but, I think basically what it boils down to is you know our roads better than anyone. We need to spend the money,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure 33,000.
I was honestly, I was a little shocked when they gave me that, sticker price.
Imagine that.
Yeah, that's fair. It would be super nice. I at least told them, hey, I'll bring it up to the Board of Commissioners, and so it's a tool that's available out there to us, but I, yeah, a little sad when I saw that. I'm sorry? Oh, so, yep, anyway, that's something they can do, but yes, we can kind of do the same thing and do that. I'll try and look for that.
Yeah, I can't remember how long ago that was, but every county went in and they came out and surveyed all the roads.
Interesting.
That was for WCCA.
That report is still in this office.
So there you go.
Oh,
It's right
perfect. I'll,
Your mom's got it.
could be. I'll send a records request.
Well,
Anyway,
I think they also wanted to do the gravel roads, and I'm not sure we ever did those, but we definitely did do the paved roads.
I'll look into that. Also, so where we are now with all the road research and everything that we've done, we are basically scanning and uploading all the documents that Ann has, all the documents that we got from like county building, old surveys, all that stuff. The only thing that we have left, which I was talking to Malcolm yesterday about the original road petitions. We'll get those scanned and uploaded, and what we should have by the end of it is a complete road index on every road, every document that we can find, from commissioner notes to original petition, ones that we own, the actual ground or the deeds and things like that. So that will all be consolidated very soon, and then from there, we'll have our list of what we think is priority to start going through and actually getting undocumented right-of-ways and things like that surveyed and squared away. We talked to one surveying company, and that's what they kind of came out with for us at the end of the day. It was about 4,500 per mile to get those done.
And do you have any idea roughly how many miles of roads that we're looking at?
Not a good number, but it's probably it's a lot. Over 40, I would say, is probably easy to say, I think.
The ones that are not
Established.
or
It's a fair bit. Well, once we get the rest of it consolidated, we'll get it to you guys, and we'll give you our priorities, and it'll have full distances and mileage and things of that nature. So we have an idea of what we're looking at, and then how we want to bite that off and chew it as we go down. But that was that's that piece, and then also talked to Dean Anderson down there on TY Road. So TY has a very bad drifting spot. Forgot my math this morning, I apologize. I know I forgot. I was out checking a couple roads before the meeting and got short for time, shot back to it off, so I apologize. But there's a spot down there, when you get onto TY that goes through state ground, and even from the last little bit of snow we had, that thing just drifted almost shut. So they've gone down there in the past, previous blade hand down there, they snapped a V-plow trying to get that out. We just have a loader down there with a blower on it to try and clean some of that out, and it drifts super bad. And basically what most of the property owners do is where it comes across to the west there and sits at that very tip, basically, from the top, from that tip, drawing a diagonal line down is where they would be okay with the road coming through. Yep, pretty much right where that mouse was dragging. They would be
So
okay.
from that top core.
Yes,
right
sir,
There.
kinda just like that. They would be okay with moving the road there. His request would be that we just put a little gravel in his driveway. And because it's the same route, essentially that they take anyway, as soon as that thing drifts shut, they just drive across that pasture point anyway. The benefit for us is that that's half the distance than what the road is currently. So we would be able to get a lot of material off of the existing road and just basically relocate it. But talking with Dean last week, he did say it was something that he had brought up in the past and was enthusiastic to do it, and then it kind of just fizzled out. He wasn't sure what happened, but he'd be willing to look at that and come to a deal and do that for the county, and just like a little bit of additional material put in one of his driveways to kind of clean up his area some. So,
I think in the long run, if it's gonna save us money in maintenance costs, it's probably a good idea if you have a landowner willing to
Yes,
work with you.
That's
We've done it
exactly
in the past.
yeah, and I do think it would, even that first little dusting of snow that we had,
Yeah,
I don't remember when that was, but that portion of road, that north-south portion had already like drifted, not impassable, but it was shocking how much snow managed to accumulate, cause it just runs right up against the bluff. And then it stops there at the bluff and just builds its way back. So, I can talk to Dean more about it, and we can, work with Malcolm and, probably the county attorney, I would assume, right?
Well, you have to start a discussion with Office of State Lands to see what it's gonna take, because that'll have to be surveyed, and then go through the process of declaring the road, but getting permission from OSLI just to start the survey. So, my suggestion would be that'd be the next stop, is talking to the Office of State Lands.
Okay.
Cause even though it'd eliminate quite a distance on state land, there'd be a new chunk that would have to be established.
Yes, just at that very
Yeah,
top corner, it would change it just the slightest, but yes.
and I don't think they would have any problem with it, but we just need the process to be through.
Yeah, I mean, first we need their permission to survey, of course, and then hopefully when the survey comes back, we can get Dean and State Lands to sign a right of way, and then it makes the establishment much easier.
That's for permission instead of forgiveness.
Well, I mean, you could declare a road across it, but then they're due compensation. And I, for one, don't wanna send them any, so.
yeah,
But if you gentlemen are good with that, then we can look at pursuing that. But I do think it'll cost money to do the surveying, but most of that material, I think we'll be able to bring over and move. Like I said, it's almost exactly half the distance by going straight line there, so there should be a fair bit that we could relocate and be good with.
Is there pretty good gravel on that road currently?
Yes, sir. It is, it's pretty good. And I think it's pretty thick too. It's pretty thick. So I think we'd be able to relocate, and it wouldn't be too bad. And if some summer state projects go like they're supposed to, we might be getting some millings anyway down in that area, so then using that free millings to help do that as well, depending on how quick it can all move. But I can talk to the Office of State Lands, and I'll talk to Dean and see if we can start working for that. I think it would be beneficial. Awesome. And, yeah, pending any questions, that's all I have.
Thanks.
Yes, sir?
Okay, we have Wyoming Land and Ranches LLC.
Morning, Mason McDonald. Thanks for coordinating this, Malcolm. What we're really seeking is just written clarification of what we can do. It's a 8-tract exempt subdivision, all 35+ acre lots in the in section 7, I believe. So the property's bordered by North Buckskin Road on the western half, running north to south. It's currently a Category 4 county road. We're proposing coming in and improving that at our own cost, if that's feasible, and we just need clarification of what the road specifications are. And then the other thing we're seeking clarification on, which, Chris, I don't know if you found it in a stack of papers or anything like that, but whether Harvey Road to the north was ever dedicated to the county or anything like that.
It
We've heard-
stops right at Buckskin.
Yeah, that's what we've seen, you know, looking through everything. We've heard different stuff from the property owners, of course, but just really seeking written clarification of how we can make this work. Alternative for us, of course, is just building a private road right through it. But just wanted to see if we could work with you guys and figure out what that would look like.
So currently, Chris, you maintain Harvey Road
Yes, sir.
in its entirety.
Yes, sir.
Just go to Dale's house.
2 miles.
2 miles, which it's right at where that North Buckskin and Harvey Road intersection.
Where we
would
was.
be. Yes, sir.
And so North Buckskin is a county easement, but it's just a 2-track trail road that we don't maintain.
Correct.
And so you guys are requesting that that portion of the road, you be able to,
Go and improve it.
and then would you have a plan for maintaining it in the future?
We could create a road maintenance agreement within the subdivision. You know, currently it's classified as an unmaintained road, so we wouldn't expect the county to change that classification. But we're just trying to look at the code and see what works for everybody.
The problem I have is if the road gets improved and then we still don't maintain it, in the future it'll need maintenance.
It becomes our obligation.
And then they come to us because it's a county road.
Sure.
And in most cases, the developer has sold the lots and got their money and they're long gone. They're, don't have any skin in the game anymore, so. And we have that, I have that issue on all of these 35-acre subdivisions, even the roads that, you know, are private roads within the subdivision. Eventually, those folks come to the county and want us to either make them county roads or maintain them, and we just don't have the resources to take that many more roads on, so.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I was kind of curious, do you have a plan as to how that road would be maintained in the future?
We would create a road maintenance agreement within the subdivision that the property owners are responsible for.
So out of that 8 lots that's in there, you sell 2 and then 2 people are responsible for it? How's that gonna work?
I guess that's fair. We've never not sold out of a subdivision. So then the remaining lots, we would be the owners and part of the maintenance agreement.
How do we say Cottonwood, is there still an escrow?
What's that?
Is there still an escrow on Harris Park Road?
Who's your western landowner on that, where that wheat's growing right up next to that road? Who is that? Do you know who that is, or?
I'm sorry.
It's
On the western side of that 2-track road.
Which would be,
Care of Julie Henny.
Yeah, it'd be McQuiston,
who's that?
that'd be north.
The questions.
Yeah, but he don't farm, I'm always wondering who farms it, cause that was McQuiston's place. So who's farming that now, do you know, Greg?
Sorry, my hearing shot.
Oh,
I believe Chuck Mikey's,
Do you know who's farming McQuiston's? Do you know who's farming McQuiston's wheat strips over there?
Yeah,
is it Chuck?
Chuck Mikey.
Okay.
I think as far as coming up with a standard for, we have a county road standard for roads. And I'm not sure if that road would probably need considerable amount of work to bring it up to that standard.
I guarantee you.
Because I haven't been out there and looked at it for a long time. I used to work for Jack and Christian and help farm that, but it's been years since I've been out there. But it would need widened, built up, and gravelled.
Yes. does.
At the very minimum, I think, to meet the county road standard.
A lot of that road, when we were driving down it heading south, on the west side, the grade variance between there and the east side is anywhere from a foot to 3 feet.
From the west to the east,
Yeah,
higher in the west.
no, actually lower in the west in places, but in there in other places, no, it flips.
Yeah.
It depends on if you get down in the bottom, because there's a little ridge right there.
Yeah.
And if you flip down and get down in the bottom, then it goes the other way, so I'm thinking, okay, that's snow up your pockets,
Yeah.
because there's nothing out there to catch it till it gets there.
Yeah.
And that is some super fine kind of soil out there. You know, it's, I don't wanna call it, you know, clay-based, because, you know, it's boater in as much as it is anything else.
Yeah.
Hard to find a rock in places unless you find them chalk rocks, you know, that real clay stuff that breaks off.
So I guess it's a series of questions. One is, are you okay if they improve a county road? And if the answer to that is yes, then to what standard? And that second question would determine for them, I think, how they proceed, if it's financially viable.
Right, so my criteria for, we've done projects like this in the past, and it's always been a decision, we're already maintaining the road, and it reduces our maintenance cost, is why we have entered into those agreements. And so as long as the county can stay whole or manage those costs, I don't want to have any extra, and I would like to have less cost from the project. So that's where we're kind of going with road and bridge, is that we've got a lot to take care of. How do we either do it better, cheaper, or faster, I guess would be also cheaper, but in any case, we're at capacity for stuff right now. So if the project increases the responsibility of the county, probably not. You know what I mean? So if you guys can answer those questions in a manner that makes the county whole or reduces the obligation of the county, then I'd be interested in looking at it. But I'm very hesitant to do anything that increases the road and bridges workload, because we don't.
And that's not what we wanna do
Yeah,
I know it's just
yeah.
a mile of, if we could get a copy of what the road specifications that, you know, if we could work it out, then we can kind of determine as a company whether it's, you know, if the juice is worth the squeeze. If not, then we have the alternative option of just a private road, kind of going smack dab in the middle of it.
Chris, you can get the county road standard,
Yes, sir.
and that'd be a good place to start.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I just got no intention of taking care of it.
Yeah,
That's where I'm at.
it's a north-south road, wind from the west. So,
So if Chris can get you guys the county road standard, that'd be a starting place, and then you could look at that and see if it was economically feasible.
Yep, and then the alternative would just be private road for us.
So you are willing to allow them to build it to that county standard?
no, I need
I think,
yeah,
I'd be willing to allow them to build it to that county standard, but there needs to be some kind of an agreement in place about future maintenance of the road from then on. And so that, it would depend on that.
Makes sense.
I just wasn't clear in those two questions. I wasn't clear on the answer on the first one, so
If the back half isn't satisfied, the front half don't happen, right?
so, no.
And then I guess if we find out that the north side of the property has been dedicated to the county or something, because there's no change whenever you go. I guess the property owners are currently maintaining it maybe, but we've just heard conflicting things from the property owner.
Well, I think we've done,
So,
these
It
guys.
literally stops right at the,
okay, and there's no evidence of, okay.
I can't even find an easement from any of the landowners to another.
So, I found an easement would be the southwest of the southeast
Of section
of section 6 to
6.
over there. So that's weird to me, because without an easement for that first half mile, I don't know what good an easement does for that.
County Road
Quarter mile.
116 that comes down. That County Road 116 that he's talking about, that's coming down and ending. I don't have
He's-
my.
He's talking about an extension, or there's an easement that exists for
We
what would
have
be
a,
Harvey Road on a
Well,
half mile down the road.
we've got, I think it's either a half mile or a mile to the east of the corner of where Harvey and North Buckskin is. But it's actually coming straight down from another one of our awesome right-of-ways.
Yes,
Sorry.
Coming from the north.
It comes and it crosses down over Goshen Hole Road. I mean, it's come basically like from Dickinson Hill Road and it jots and works its way southeast south. But it ends, I was thinking it was a mile east of that corner. So it wouldn't connect to where that property is right now. But that was never, there's never been an easement or anything going through a commissioner's to actually establish that extra half mile. So whoever gets to that house, that's gotta all be some kind of private.
So it's a private easement to both of these houses,
That's gotta be, yeah.
or I'm not sure they're houses, but.
Whatever.
The one that's southeast of the house, and I think that's a barn in the southwest.
Whose property is that?
Where?
The southeast of the
The
southeast
county,
of,
yeah, that one.
right, that one.
Whose is that?
Fitzwater.
Whose is that?
Fitzwater.
Fitzwater?
I could give you some history on the whole.
that's right.
Man,
I won't guarantee it, it's legal. So, at one time, North Buckskin and Harvey Road, obviously Harvey Road's still maintained. North Buckskin was also maintained, it was a mail route. And because nobody was living in where Dale Harvey lives up here, and the mail was going on 4 miles of dirt road, I got them to reroute it and go 4 miles of pavement, move the mailbox to my house instead of a mile away for my convenience. And also Dale Harvey's mail arrived at his house because he lives somewhere else. So then mail route quit there, county kind of started not maintaining North Buckskin quite so much. And then all this property used to be farmed. We quit farming that. And down, what's the road there in the south end?
Trapper.
Which is a private road.
It was maintained by the county. We said, we really don't need the traffic, we don't need the maintenance, because we're not farming trucks out of there anymore. So the county quit maintaining it. And North Buckskin, they asked about quitting to maintain that. At that time, we agreed that if they would just grade it maybe once a year to make it passable, it'd be okay. But that all kind of went away too, because nobody's using it very much. And from here east, that was all private, still is private. When somebody decided to move into this house, they needed an easement to establish that road across there. I had both these pieces leased, and I talked to the landlords, convinced them that was the best thing to do, otherwise the commissioners were probably gonna make it a county road. And so both those landlords gave them a private easement to get to their house there. So that is still private with just easement for them.
Is this where that David guy used to live?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah, okay. This one I don't know, but that one I think yeah.
How long ago was that, Gregor, that they stopped maintaining North Buckskin?
That the north end was,
How long ago was it that they quit maintaining it? The county.
oh, 20 years, at least 30. Because most of that went in CRP in the late 80s.
Yeah.
With no mail route there, no bus route there. Nobody in Harvey's house at that time, but then they all, yeah.
So I think if Chris gets you guys the county road standard, and then you can do some figuring on what it would cost to bring that road up to that spec. And then if you can come up with some kind of a maintenance agreement for the future, then that's something that we would look at.
Got it. Thank you.
Is that what you guys?
I guess one additional question, if we, disclose everything in a development, if we just went and cleaned it up a little bit, if we determined that, it's not feasible to build to county road specs, but just carve in there, make it a little less aggressive of a road, because I think it's been about 20 years since anyone did anything on it, would that be okay? Or should we just not touch it at all?
I think you need, we're gonna need some kind of guarantee that the owners of those lots that you create aren't gonna come to the county and request that
We can put that in whenever we sell,
if
yeah.
that's on the plat maps and disclosed, then.
Yeah, got it.
You can drive on any county road.
Oh, yeah, no, we're just saying, go and clean it up a little bit. We were told it was better to ask for forgiveness than permission, but that's not.
Laura, did you have?
I do have a comment. This is actually a large parcel. And so this will not come to my office at all until somebody has an address. So there is no, I won't be able to verify, the county wouldn't be able to verify unless you specifically ask to see the record of survey before it's recorded.
Yeah, 'cause
That
we didn't
the proper verbiage is on there, so, because this is out of our purview, it's not in our stops at the state.
So I think we would basically have to have an agreement with the developer at that time, that says this is what's stated on the plat maps. Yeah, you're right, we don't look at them, we don't review them.
Yeah, and it'll come across as a record of survey,
Yeah.
just to be official, okay.
Any other questions?
No, I don't think so. Appreciate you guys.
Well, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
These day trips to Wheatland are gonna kill me.
Chris can get you that county road standard spec.
Perfect. Thanks, Chris.
I hear there'll be some 35-acre parcels in the Chugwater area for sale if
There we
you wanna
go.
reduce.
Sold that myself.
Thanks for the history lesson, Gregor.
Backs up a little bit.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Pleasure meeting you all.
Thanks, Gregor.
I'll call you.
Okay.
I wanna talk to you guys later. Another issue.
Good.
You wanna jump to health insurance since we're a little ahead?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
So the renewal came in, you heard me say during department head, a 6% increase, which in terms of health insurance is a bargain. In terms of a $1.7 million line item, not. And two things. One, the federal government requires that we offer health insurance to our employees because of the Affordable Care Act. So not offering health insurance is not an option legally. Second, it is a significant tool in the attraction and retention of good employees. So the question, and I'm gonna ask that you guys don't act on it quite yet today, but I wanna throw out a feeler and see what you think. I'm meeting with the other electeds tomorrow to talk about some wage discussions. And One of those is, we currently have a 90-10 share. So the county pays 90% of the premium, the employee pays 10%. And what I'm, just for discussion purposes, I'm not sure I'm sold on it myself, but I want to explore the option of a 85-15 split, where the county pays 85, the employee pays 15. And in return, it will allow us to increase those wages. So the take home won't be any different, but the advertising for the wage will be, if that makes any sense. And so that's what I want to throw out to you all and to my other colleagues is wage advertisement worth changing that premium share to 85-15 rather than 90-10?
Right.
Like I said, I'm not sure I'm convinced on it yet myself, but just trying to find a way to remain competitive with other law enforcement agencies. Mostly, that's the number one that I'm focused on.
So have you looked into what other agencies, what their split is?
Yeah, it's, the state's hard to tell because, well, it's the state of Wyoming, so just put that up there for you. But other agencies, 90-10 is pretty typical. 85-15, anything beyond 15 is fairly atypical. Anywhere between that 10-15%. When we were paying 5%, the employees were, that was not typical. That was very low.
Well, we just went to the 10% last year.
And we just went to 10% from 8% last year. So we're in that typical range now. Pretty much all the local law enforcement agencies are that 10 to 15% range. Wheatland Police Department does not pay anything, the employees don't. They're a bit of a enigma. But they also pay their half of retirement, the employees do.
What age of guys are we going for? The younger guys, I would imagine they don't care that much about health insurance, so they do a wage.
I would think it would be better to leave it where it's at. Because basically if you move it to 85-15, we're still not gonna be able to compete wage-wise with the other agencies.
In this county, we would,
In Platte County.
yes,
And I don't think that's our problem.
but partially. So, but we're never gonna compete with the highway patrol. And as a matter of fact,
In Converse County, all of them.
Right.
So, yeah.
but can we get them closer? And that's where I'm looking, can we get them closer? So there's not that immediate, because a lot of guys, to Ian's point, not a lot, depending on the age, they're looking at the dollar per hour, right? So they're looking at that dollar per hour saying, well, they're paid $10 an hour more, not looking at the finer details.
Well, they don't look at the retirement, they don't look, they're focused on, okay, this is what landed in my checking account, this is what I can pay bills with.
Right. And then retirement's another one I'm gonna talk to him about. That is it time the employee pays their portion of retirement? We can increase wage 10%. There is a long-term benefit as well to the employee, which of course is the higher the wage, the better the retirement pay. So they may pick up more health insurance, but their retirement at some point is higher.
Is there a tax advantage for them to do it that way, at the end of the road?
Not really.
Not really, okay.
Probably a disadvantage.
We don't pay our guys enough to even worry about brackets, to be honest with you. So,
Yeah.
I don't think it's an advantage, disadvantage, I don't even think anybody will notice. You're gonna pay your 12%. So I gave you those sheets that showed what the premiums would be if we left it at 90-10, if we moved to an 85-15, based off our current enrollments. And then the other piece, and again, I'm not gonna ask you to act on this today, but probably at your next meeting, is moving towards, right now, if you sign up for the $3,500 high deductible health plan, we set you up with an HSA, and we give you back 40% of our savings. So whatever the difference is between the family plan on the $1,500 deductible, family plan on the 35, whatever those savings are, we give you 40% into your HSA every month. So the county is still, it's a net positive for the county. I'm gonna ask this year we move to 50%. I think it's still a net saving, it is still a net savings, but if we can convince a couple of folks to move off of $1,500 plans onto 35, that's what I'm focusing towards.
With a health savings account.
So then, like, if you sign up for a family plan, we're putting, under my proposal this year, we'd be putting $200 a month in your HSA account. The county is saving $200 a month still at that point. We just give a portion of those savings back as an incentive to the move employees off the 15 to the 3,500.
So over the course of the year, they would be getting roughly 2,400 in a health savings account.
Yep.
Which,
Almost pays your deductible.
yeah, which almost pays your deductible, so.
After 2 years, if you had no health claims, you would basically have your out-of-pocket maximum paid.
Yeah, that's actually pretty
Wish
good.
Medicare do that for me.
People don't look at it.
No. And then what I've tried to convince folks of, we're a little successful. Whatever your savings are as an employee in your premiums, we're encouraging folks to take those savings and also put them in their HSA. And we've got a handful that do that as well. And so anyway, it has grown in popularity. You can see 17 people enrolled,
Yeah.
which I think last year we had 12, so we had 5 more this year. I think we had 8 the very first year we did it. So anyway, it continues to grow in popularity, and then we'll bring up WEBT. There's a handful of folks I'd like them to talk to about the $3,500 plan, who, looking at claim history, we think would be good candidates for it. That always bites you. We had one who was a great candidate, moved to it, and then had 2 ER visits in that first year, and so that one bit us.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's your health renewal insurance.
Yeah.
Health insurance renewal information. Not gonna ask you to act on it today, but ruminate on that question a little bit of 90-10 or 85-15.
And you're gonna have some more input after tomorrow, I believe,
Yeah.
on that.
And I would anticipate coming out of that with a 90-10 recommendation, but I don't know. I think there's pros and cons. So,
I think it may be a help in recruiting in the future, but I think our current employees are gonna look at it like, they gave us a raise, but they took it away.
yeah. Yep. And if you look at the take home, the take home between Wheatland Police Department and the Sheriff's Office is almost identical. But we've lost out on some candidates because of the dollar per hour discussion. So. Anyway. Trying to think outside the box as to how do we fix the problem. So, there you go.
Thanks, Malcolm.
Yeah.
Jim, good morning.
Good morning.
What do you have for us this morning?
I guess you wanted to talk about the HVAC in the Coleman building
Here's your, and TKE.
and TKE. I guess I didn't really, if you had that back from me, but. So, whatever you want to talk about on the Coleman building, I know,
Let's start on the Coleman Building HVAC. We've got a quote from Mr. Bees, which is $100,000, or $195,000, excuse me. Because we would have to do it in stages. I don't see any way around that.
No, we don't have anywhere.
The attorney side, I think I came up with a solution, but it doesn't save us enough to even worry about all the logistics, frankly. And then the health side, I had a solution and then Counts talked about earlier that Murphy got a vote, so my option failed.
I think if we do anything else, we're just putting a Band-Aid on the problem. It's gonna continue and it's not gonna improve our efficiency of our system. So I think we have to look at doing something like this too.
Well, I mean, you go down to number 7, because him and I talked about this, on some of these supplies are not dumping where they need to. You know, and if they dump, you know, next to your wall, it's called washing that wall with the warm air. And if you dump it in the middle and you've got all your windows on the north side, you've still got a cold zone. And, you know, what we found peeking up through all them ceiling tiles, it's a mess. That ductwork up there is just it's a tragedy. That's that's what I'll call it, you know. You know, hanging furnaces in there and putting, you know, the AC stuff on the roof and this and that. That's okay, but in order for any of these systems, especially these newer ones, updating these 1970 some units, if they don't flow, they don't work. You know, and having said that, why go halfway?
I think for me, it's how do we pay for it?
Yeah.
Right.
Cause there's gonna be another 30,000 in roofing on top of it.
What's our courthouse project at right now, estimate, like
So-
3.4?
We asked the public for 4.25 and mentally, so we said that this project should not exceed 4. And the intent was that we had 250,000 for other projects. So you have about, right now, the estimate from Sampson is it like 3.7?
It went up
What was it?
3.48, it's just under 3.5.
Okay, so it's at 3.5.
I mean, unless something's changed.
I think I'm mentally building in a tower is the reason I
Yeah,
said
which is
37.
100,000.
Yeah.
And then 100 probably in some electrical work. But anyway, I think there'll be some other additions. So I would assume the courthouse project at 4. And so that means you have 250,000 for other maintenance projects. And so,
Which basically, that means we have enough to do one other maintenance project if it's
Right.
to this scale.
yeah. But it's a significant, I mean, it's a huge building, really.
Yeah.
And
Right.
Coleman Building's a huge building.
7,200 square feet.
Really? 72?
And that doesn't include the basement.
No.
That's just the
Yeah.
ground floor.
And I could be off 50 square feet one direction, just, you know, wasn't exactly tape, but, you know.
So is there currently 5 units in there? And so we would replace them with 2.
No,
What's number 3?
Okay.
2
two,
410
two,
and 3
3.
310.
and 3, yeah,
So we replace 5 with 5.
because tonnage wise on AC, at 7,000 square feet, just stop at 7,000 square feet, you need 14 tons, you know, of those units. And it's better to have the 17 and not work them so hard, you know, to maintain it, because the difference in price ain't doodly at that point.
Right.
That's the way that it should go. I'd rather have one of those 4-ton units operate at 65% than a 3-ton operating at 85. So, yeah, we just gotta figure out how to pay for it. That, it's the right way to do it. So that people down the road aren't saying, what did you guys do? You know, it's done.
Cause that's kinda what we're looking at right now.
That's exactly what we're looking at
When
right
you look
now.
up in there, what did they do?
I wouldn't wish that on anybody else, you know, at this point. He's also gonna vent, those bath fans exterior because code says you have to.
They just vented that,
What's that?
they just vented the drop ceiling.
Yeah, they're venting in between the drop lid and the hard lid.
Jeez.
Well, when you got 0% humidity,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
Well, some places it counts 88% apparently, but. I personally, I don't necessarily want to spend that much, but at the same time, that can has been kicked all the way down the road, I think.
All the way.
And I
yes.
think it's time it stops, because I think that building, and it's not any one of ours, it has been for eons since we owned it.
Before we owned it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it was a gas station, then it got cobbled together a little bit. I think if it's going to be usable, and as a health clinic, I think we do it right.
I think we probably have $120,000 just in new equipment. If we have, what is it, maybe, yeah, 12,000 per AC or heater, probably sounds reasonable. So there's probably $120,000 in equipment there. And not counting ducts and stuff like that, it's probably not that out of line. So, what do the roof penetrations and roof repair look like? Is it like capital comes in and tars it up afterwards?
The bid you have, or kind of accepted, I guess, maybe, is from Fisher, but,
You do, yeah.
yeah, so is Mr. B's going to use the same penetration? I'm
Can't
assuming,
guarantee that. You know, because these units will be different.
right,
This may require new roof penetrations repaired by others, wired by others. So there's electrical, and then there's roofing.
but
Well,
if
the
you remember when you
electrical
looked back
side
on
of it.
that Fisher roofing, he said that he would take care of all that too, so the new penetrations, fix those.
So what was that, Jim?
The electrical side of it, because, Brian he don't have a master or
Oh,
an
yeah,
electrician.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
he says, I can bring my guy out of Cheyenne, and I said, well,
yeah.
I bet we can find somebody here that we won't have to pay windshield time on. To do that, that makes sense.
You'd be surprised. I think the local guys spend plenty of windshield time.
Yeah.
Driving back and forth, because they forget one thing or the other. So, oh, frustrating, but you're right, yes.
Well, in concept.
You're right. You're just flat right.
It had to be different.
If you break it out by the square foot, for that size,
I didn't
it's
see him.
really not
You were in here?
huge,
Oh,
7,200, you said?
7,200.
you got a forgettable face.
I get that, it's fine.
$32 a foot.
Huh?
$32 a foot.
Yeah.
Sold probably.
Yeah.
I'm guessing 220 or 230.
Well, 10 years ago, we were doing houses that were $24, and that's not commercial grade.
No, you can't buy a house now with less than 200, I would bet.
Well, I'm just talking
Or
about
for
the
AC,
HVAC part.
yeah. Oh, I see.
Yeah,
I see.
yeah.
I think we probably should do it. Would there be a requirement that we go out to bid for it?
No, your counties are in an odd spot where they're exempt from a lot of that.
What's the timeline?
What?
What's left, timeline? As far, like, just nailing down a timeline, if we say go, it's just timeline. When can they start,
Yeah,
sort of thing,
he didn't
like
know.
that?
I bet him, you know, on houses and stuff, if I don't tell him at least 65 to 90 days in advance, then he's like, I can't do it.
No, I agree, yeah, I agree.
If you find somebody that says I can start next week, you typically don't want them, because there's a reason they aren't doing anything.
Exactly. Looking for the next sucker.
Uh-huh. I just know that my years of working with this guy, I've got full confidence that, you know, walk away,
How much time have
we're
you
gonna
done
get
with
the
him?
product we want and,
Yeah.
have it last and do what it needs to do.
Are all the AC and heaters this gen or next gen? Because we seem to have problems with next gen.
Well, I think what we have in this building is because we have a 2-tube system instead of 4-tube system. That creates a lot of these issues, especially on the second floor, but in order to go to a 4-tube, 4-pipe, 4-tube, the air exchangers and the air handlers that Daikin's got up on that, wouldn't work. And the cost of that would have, and you guys may or may not have been given, you know, a choice, but it would have been hugely more money.
I'm sure that's
Then
why
it
we
would be
chose what
what-
we did.
Yeah,
A lot of glitter and sparkles and less money.
well, because a 4-tube operates way differently than a tube. Just because of the CFMs, and you're not shoving this down the same pipe as the other, and
Yeah, that's right.
So I would entertain a motion if that is what we decide the way we wanna go.
All right, I'd move to approve an HVAC proposal from Mr. B's Heating and Cooling
So the Coleman building.
for the Coleman building. Thank you.
Second. Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve that HVAC proposal for Mr. B's Heating and Cooling for the Coleman building. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Well,
see like what you just had to do. You just went and put on your coat because of what's going on in here right now.
yeah.
That's a 2-tube
Yeah.
system.
Yeah.
They just don't balance as easy.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the elevator issue.
Doesn't look like there's any.
So in the court security meeting, it was brought up that we've had a couple of people get stuck behind the elevator. And that's what this quote is to fix. That it requires the key, so detention would have a key, they put it in and it would take them to the top floor. The back door on that elevator would then open, and that's the only place that that back door would open with the key. So that nobody can get off on that floor.
So currently, people are getting in the elevator, going to the upper floor, and that back door's open, and they're going in, the door's shut, and they're stuck.
So yeah, pretty much,
And off.
they don't get off, the front door opens and they're not getting off in time. And then they go and press the door open button and it opens the back door. So they get off on the back door thinking that's where they need to get off. Well, that's a secure room, you can't.
There's no elevator call button in there.
There's no way.
So, has it ever happened when the room's being used?
Not currently.
Can it happen if it's being used?
Yes.
Yeah, we need to fix it.
You're right, I agree. I'm thinking that was a very, I remember like 30 minutes going over that with the contractors when we were building it though.
Yeah, and I'm not sure why it didn't get fixed when we were building.
See, that was
Because it
my
would've-
question. In 3 years, how could this,
It would've-
how could we be talking about this? Cause this is what, 3 years that we've had this?
It would have delayed delivery for a year,
Oh,
Oh,
I do remember that.
Yeah, I
Right in the
remember
car.
that.
so there was a
So this
decision.
is the part that they were waiting for. basically.
And wasn't this the secondary elevator company anyway, because the first one couldn't?
They got bought, I think,
Okay,
and they got,
yeah. I
Yeah,
remember
when it's-
Jimmy talking about that.
Started it was ThyssenKrupp and then they sold to this Swedish company, TKE, but.
Yeah.
Yes, there was a decision made. Do you
Thank you.
have everything in the building done except for that one stop on the elevator and delay opening for a year?
yeah, okay,
And the answer
Thank
is
you.
no.
thank you for clarifying that.
That gives me history that I didn't have.
So this is our can.
Yep.
Stop kicking it.
And where will that come out of?
To be determined.
Ice holes.
There's,
Charge you
I think you're gonna have enough left in phase one. I'll have to punch some numbers, but I'm not
From
gonna
the
punch.
overage from phase one?
Okay.
So I think you'll have enough from phase one or interest on the,
Phase two?
on the, capital improvement reserve investment.
Right. And how much is currently in the capital improvement?
So I think 10 grand is about something.
It's about 700,000.
I think that that's a lawsuit waiting to happen.
I just don't think we got any choice.
Yeah,
We've got the hats.
I mean, basically, we would have done it if we would have been able to get the parts at the time, that's, so.
And we don't have to pay a general contractor's fee,
Yeah,
so.
that's right. Well, what do you think? Do we approve this one?
Yes,
I vote to approve it.
unless you wanna get stuck in that room with the,
Yeah, currently we've only had people stuck in there for a bit, not stuck with inmates
I
or
mean, being stuck.
left overnight or,
Being stuck in there for a bit's an inconvenience, but being stuck in there with a violent inmate.
Yeah.
That's all.
yeah, or if we all leave for the night and don't realize they're there and find them in the morning.
That's
or-
right. Put a bench in there.
Yeah, I mean,
Like a
probably-
in there.
realistically, the ones that are gonna get stuck in there probably aren't carrying cell phones and those type of things as well.
Dude, yeah, you're right, like a door just, all right, let's go in and then
So-
done, mouse traps.
When we met with Mona that day and stuff, we talked about unlocking that door unless we're going to need it for a jury trial, just as a fail-safe.
Yeah.
And if they do get out, they can still get out of the cell, and then if we have a trial coming up and we're gonna need to use a holding facility, Jim can just pop back in there and lock it back down without a lot of effort and time, but.
I think it needs to be fixed the way it was originally
Right.
designed to be used.
But that was a temporary way of not causing.
Yeah.
Having the issues or having to worry about it.
So,
And then we would just, as much as possible, move inmates to and from without holding facility if we could.
Jim, did you move to accept it?
I did.
I second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the repair work for the elevator from TKE. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
4 to 6 weeks lead time. That's what it says here, is
Yeah,
that kind of where they're at still?
I think so, yeah. So Steve, can I get you to sign that for me? Get it in the works.
He says 1 to 2 days.
coming up?
Jim,
Yes.
Jim, you'll need to submit a copy to Geneva for 50%, because we own, it says we own 50% upfront.
Oh,
Okay. To get that for the company.
okay.
Get it sent. So we just need the 30th.
It has a place from Malcolm to sign. Do you want me to sign that or?
Typically, we don't have more than
Um,
currently.
It says signature of authorized individual Malcolm Irvin.
Oh, that's from phase one, so. I don't know unless,
Scratch it out, put your name.
yeah.
Was there anything in the contract that Doug didn't like? That we need to?
Yeah,
address?
but they wouldn't change it.
Oh, okay.
Basically, so it is an odd provision. We owe them 50% upfront. and then 50% when they start the work, rather than 50% when they complete the work. Didn't like that, and they said, well, so,
Right.
Any further business?
on the Coleman one then, is Jim coordinating with Mr. B's, or is Jim then? I think just giving Jim direction on,
Good point.
Don't matter to me.
Tell me what you want me to do.
I think that it kind of belongs in Jim's court.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, but just keep us up to date on what's going on.
do you have his contact, or does Jim need to get it to you?
We'll be adjourned, we get these guys in here, we go with this pod thing over with.
Okay.
We can do, yeah, I have his business card, so
There you go, get her, yeah, I'm thinking logistics and stuff like that, you'll be able to manage the
Did,
building and then when they're
you
building. and
sign
stuff like
the contract with Mr. B's then?
I haven't signed it, but
that. It has been approved.
so before we adjourn, let's go back to the pod renovation. Since Jim's here and you guys are here, what kind of a timeline are we looking at? What do we need to do to get this moving forward?
So I will have everything ready for you guys at our next meeting. I met with Tony and Ward, on Friday. They asked me to, add another, thing into it, so I'm getting that done today. I will get it sent out to you, to review, and then, we'll go from there. If you approve it, then I will make the call to, the company that's gonna paint and get their timeline on when they could start. As soon as they give me that time, then I will get it to, them, and then as soon as Will, Tony, and Ward give me that time, we'll start.
When you say them, in the beginning of that, you referenced Tony and Ward. Will can't be left out of that. That's his gig, you know, and so regardless of whatever's going on over there, whatever transpires between sheriff and undersheriff has gotta be transpired throughout. It's gotta be the same deal, to where everybody knows, cause, you know, Will shouldn't have to go to Ward and say, well, what are we doing over here? If you talk to Ward and Tony, that's the way I see it. 'Cause this
Well,
is your gig.
I think it's Tony and Ward's responsibility to keep Will informed, not Jim's.
Yeah, and that. But
I
we
think
will,
as long as Jim has the sheriff as a point of contact, then it's up to the sheriff to keep his guys up to date on what's going on, so. But it wouldn't hurt if you all met at the same time.
no, that's 100% agreed. That way we don't also have to try to decipher everything. He's been there inside
So I
that
was
jail.
just trying to make it
Yeah.
easier, where there's no miscommunications, that's all I would look for. Nothing missed.
So on that, the HVAC issues, were those originally included in the pod renovation?
I don't think they were.
And is that something you have the parts for to just take care of, or is that something that's gonna add a significant cost to the renovation?
Which part, I guess, I'm,
Now, the
where do you
vents-
wanna add?
Well, I'm looking at like separating out the small puds from the big puds. like we
So,
brought out
in
the
order
other day
to do
today.
that, you would have to, yeah, it's gonna add a huge amount.
And
That
so
would be-
that's what I was, cause
a huge
originally we were
amount.
just talking about kind of cosmetic stuff.
Right, so you're looking at, obviously, I would probably have Mr. B's look at that as well, but you'd have to have a new heater. You'd have to have all new ductwork going from that heater to that pod.
So to solve the issues currently, you said the humidity was 80%.
Well, we're figuring that out. I just found out that they've got to run the shower vents now on their manual switch. I didn't know that. I was just informed about this today. So you get
'Cause I have to
30
make it
people in a
over.
pod and they all take a shower. They need to flip the switches on. But we don't know when they're showering, we don't keep track of that, so.
Turn the
And then,
temperature of the water down.
Yeah.
They won't shower as often.
yeah, cold showers.
That's,
So, I was told earlier today, after our initial meeting this morning, that there's some ventilation that like the initial vents are clear, but they're shining flashlights in some of these vents, like we almost need to have the ID ducts or somebody come in and clean again. I don't know, I know they're changing filters, but we're not getting the dust and dirt out of them. I don't know if that's buying enough vents or what, but
so HVAC upgrades would be a totally separate issue.
I think we could
Bond renovations.
we could push those further down the line if we can get our system back up to being maintained.
Functioning like it's supposed to, Ricky.
Yes.
One in Adam Pod kinda come up over the last few days and things, and Jim got in there last night and got somebody in to look at it, and it sounds like we're making some progress on that.
He's
but I don't know what
He's
that-
been getting emails on it, but it's not doing it when he comes in to look at it. So, like, we had one in Frank Pot, I got a stack of complaints about it, and then when he comes in to look, it's not humid, it's not hot, it's not muggy, it's just timing on Jim's part and his guys for coming in. When they're sending these complaints in, usually it's 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night, he's at home. So I understand him not seeing it, but like the vents, they're shining lights in there and they can see the dust built up, so I think if we can get HVAC in there to clean the vents.
Which
Yeah,
they're
actually.
scheduled, to come up and give me a quote next week.
So, and that might negate having to do anything with HVAC for a little while, but I think we're gonna wind up putting a Band-Aid on a big problem, so I'd say in the next probably 3 to 5 years, we're gonna be looking at HVAC in that building. And it's gonna be significantly more than what the Coleman building is, so I don't know what our answer will be there. Jeb's the contractor, Jim's the maintenance guy, I'm just the guy that runs the jail, so. I
And I'm
just
not
know
an
that,
HVAC contractor.
I just know that eventually the building's getting older and maintenance costs are gonna go up.
Yeah.
So, I don't know the answer, but if we can get them,
Go,
get maintained and back on a
go
a
take
steady
a tour,
schedule.
go take a tour of the old state pen in Rollins.
Yeah. So,
We were over there for some commissioner meetings quite a few years ago, and we took a tour of the old pen and, the original cell block. I don't know if you guys have ever been over there, but they had 2 pot-bellied stoves on the ground level on each side that heated the whole building. And they could keep it like, I can't remember if it was 5 or 10 degrees.
Yeah, something-
Different than the outside temperature.
Yeah,
So if it was 40 below outside, it was 30 below inside.
yeah,
So that was before the ACLU.
yeah.
The federal government probably didn't,
So
regulate.
the
that
civil
quite
rights,
hard then.
civil rights weren't quite in there, and
the other thing that was interesting to me was that it was only a year or 2 before they moved out to the new penitentiary, that they actually got hot water in the showers in the building. So that was in like the 80s. They still didn't have hot water in the showers in the 80s.
well, I gave Jim access to our, it's the case law and procedure and stuff side, so like the 108-degree water temperature, all the stuff that we have to meet federally for our contracts, I gave him access to, so now he can go in and see like, yeah, so HVAC systems do have to be cleaned every 2 years or 3 years, like whatever the standard is for the federal guidelines, so we can make sure that we're keeping these up to date. I know if I change my filters out on my furnace, it's gonna last the 20 years or 15 years it's supposed to, so I just wanna make sure that we're trying to save money as an agency now, and I don't wanna dump a bunch of money into HVAC in next year when
The
we have
thing
stuff.
that people have to realize is prisons aren't supposed to be comfortable.
No, ACLU and federal guidelines say what I've gotta do though, so.
I think right now cosmetically though, we got a pretty good plan in place as far as what it looks like, and he's got it all set up, ready to go, so. I think we just added wanted to do something with the floor to make sure we got it sealed back up and stuff, and didn't just dress it up if we're in there doing it. I don't know that the floor adds a substantial amount that it wouldn't be worth. If we're gonna spend all the time on the walls and everything else, we might as well clean the the floor up while we're in there.
Seal that
And seal
floor
the
might
floor
help
up.
too. I don't know.
Easier to maintain at that point too, keep it clean,
Yeah,
less sickness, less trash, less grossness, I guess.
I just think, yeah, everybody stay on the same page and communicate.
Agreed. Anything else? Any other business today?